Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Hookah Anonymous, and you are now rocking with Mickey Truth. She live up to her name, not the fame. So make sure y'all subscribe to her channel and stay updated on what's real. Bye.
Coming from where I come from, they doubted me, but I came up. I made it through the storm, trying to conquer the world. I made it through the storm, trying to conquer the world. Coming from where I come from, they doubted me, but I came up. I made it through the storm, trying to conquer the world. I made it through the storm, trying to conquer the world.
Good reporting ass Mickey.
We love you, Mickey.
So what's up? It's your girl Mickey Truth, aka Mickey Facts, and I'm back with another video. As always, let's get the little housekeeping out the way before we get into the content. And that's all information contained in this video is for entertainment, educational purposes only. All information used in this video is part of the Fair Use Act, and any conclusion that you draw is on you, not me. So let's go. So today, y'all, we are going to go over to Clubhouse. Shout out to the Clout Monster. Shout out to everybody that pulled up to Welcome to Apartment 218 and listening to the conversation in regards to the former 2 football players from Ohio State University who recently was found not guilty on rape and kidnapping charges. Listen in.
Like the living out of Section 8, this Apartment 218, and the title, it reads, former Ohio State football players found not guilty.
State football players get a victory in court today. A jury finding both of them not guilty. They were accused of rape and kidnapping.
Well, tonight they're sharing the justice they say they waited 3 years for. 10 TV's Kevin Landers is live outside the Franklin County Courthouse tonight with their story. Kevin?
Well, good evening. Both men could have faced 3 decades in prison if convicted of kidnapping and rape. Tonight, they're talking about how a jury reinforced what they already knew, the truth.
Amir Reep and Jocelyn Wint have maintained their innocence from the start, despite accusations from a woman who said both raped and kidnapped her in 2020. During their trial, cell phone video was played where the accuser was heard saying the sex was consensual.
I don't think that mattered. I think what mattered was the testimony. They heard from his accuser, and they heard from Amir, and they heard from Jocelyn. And jurors are fantastic at discerning credibility, and they did that here.
3 years later, a jury found both men not guilty of the crimes.
It's a great feeling. It's kind of hard to put into words, but great would be a cool.
The fact that they embraced me after the fact, showing me how much they cared, and you know, they had sympathy for me, and they understood that the predicament that I was in was a bad one.
The accuser, who asked her testimony not be filmed, testified Reep forced her to have sex, and she had no opportunity to say no. She also said Reep pinned her in place while Wint forced oral sex on her. Wint's attorney questioned why prosecutors took the case to trial.
And given her incredible inconsistencies with what she told the police, what she told OSU, what she told Judge Skeens, I couldn't even believe that they indicted this matter.
Both players say waiting 3 years to hear the words not guilty wasn't easy. And they say now that the case is over, they plan to continue their football careers and their education.
It's very overwhelming. I didn't know what to think. I didn't know where my life was going. And I was very confused, you know, and I didn't know what to do because I couldn't progress in my life.
The article was published by the Columbus Dispatch on February 9th, 2023. And it says a Franklin County jury on Thursday found 2 former Ohio State University football players not guilty of raping a female student in 2020 at Northwest Side Apartments. Amir Rip and Jocelyn Witt, both 24, were defensive players for the football team when a then 19-year-old woman in her freshman year at Ohio State accused them of raping her on February 4th, 2020. The jury found them not guilty on all charges, 2 counts each of rape, 1 count each of kidnapping. Rip and Witt broke down crying and embraced after the jury verdict was read. Defense attorneys who represented Rip and Witt respectively argued during the trial that the woman had consensual sex with both men, but regretted it afterwards and accused the victim's father of pushing his daughter and authorities to pursue charges. After Witt and Whip told the Dispatch they are relieved and grateful the jury for giving them their lives back. Witt completed his human development at Ohio State in 2020, but the university withheld his degree pending the outcome of this trial. Rip is majoring in sports management and has 2 semesters left at Ohio State before he graduates. And that's that. Now, I'm going to play the real brother Ben X speaking in regards to it. So here we go.
When you look at the amount of money that these brothers could have been making if they would have made it to the NFL, I think that somehow some type of calculation needs to be made to pay these brothers for what could have been done. I don't care if they didn't make it or didn't play or didn't make the money or not. Something got to be done. It's like when our people go to prison and they are innocent and they come out and they get rewarded millions of dollars. At the end of the day, I know those brothers and sisters who go through that, mostly brothers, appreciate it, but what they honestly really wanted was just not to go because they was innocent. They wanted their time. So just like they get rewarded money and things of that nature, these brothers need to get millions because they can't get that time back. But as a message to our people, especially brothers in college and things of that nature, be very careful. As you can see, you can get in trouble. You can go to prison and you didn't even do it. So just try to keep a good reputation. I know you're going to try to live life. You're going to have fun in college. But as best you can, protect your image. Protect your reputation. And be careful about who you're around and when you do things. Because when we do things, oftentimes, as they say, we were just in the wrong place at the wrong time. Think about the time and what must be done. But I'm curious to know, man, what's y'all thoughts on this situation? If you had a son or if you had a family member or you knew somebody who was in this type of situation, what justice?
I mean, shit, what you saying make a lot of sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, when people do be wrongfully charged, they go do the all the time, you know. There is a way that they do get, you know, a couple $1 million off this shit. So, I mean, shit. I mean, I agree with that shit. I think I agree with Ben wholeheartedly. They need to be paid something. You don't mess up these folks' dreams. Could have been on made millions and stuff. These folks don't work their whole life to go to the NFL. Then y'all come with some bullshit and don't run all that for them. And then they got to sit in jail on top of that, man. That's crazy.
I will say I was shocked that they have had video recording of the girl saying that she's consenting to having sex. Why it even made it to like this point?
Yeah, whoever daddy is, that nigga mom got a bag. She forcing that shit.
That school should definitely have to pay.
And I wonder why would they have withheld his degree, because even at the time because of the charges. If he finished school, what does his charges have to do with his degree?
Maybe the school has the right to reserve who can receive a degree from them based on a reputation, like a what do you call it, morals clause.
Not only should the school have to pay, but that girl should have a charge on her record, a felony for false police report or whatever the hell it is. They should hold that to a higher regard and give her a higher punishment.
I mean, actually, it's crazy to me that, like, in 3 years, like, she never even just decided to tell the truth about shit. That shit wild. Like, she pretty much robbed the nigga.
Sure did. On one hand, it might seem like a light thing, but to get the consent as a receipt, like with your phone on video or however type of correspondence should be something that men should practice as single men in this country. Them receipts will save your ass.
It does. This is one of those stories that brings a good point to crying wolf and those that are actual victims of sexual assault. How do you know the difference? Because here we have what they're allegedly stating, that she felt bad about technically having a train run on her, to the point she pursued charges, whether her dad forced her to or not, or like was in her ears to do it. If she really was a victim, now if there is a victim of this, they're going to be looking at her differently, or because of this situation. I just think stuff like this shed a bad light on actual victims.
When I went to school, I went to college like back in 08. Like before I got there, I went, you go on, like, if you're an athlete or whatever, like football, you don't like spring business and shit. Like, you go to the spring football game and shit. So while I'm there, he was really like lacing me up on like what's really going on. And I guess that situation had just happened because of the similar situation. I don't know how it panned out because I ended up dropping, but like shit, like before I even got there, like that, you know what I'm saying? That's what the business was. That shit wild. You think you see the niggas on campus and
yeah, that shit be crazy. Like I said, in the situation that I seen, and then it's like liberated, and now like we see some women like that shit. Some women prefer that shit. So, fucked up for shit that, some women like just because of, but like that shit just messed up. Like if anybody, you can't ruin niggas' lives like that. Is there y'all want to speak on any of this?
Look up the case. Now, I don't know too many of the details, but if they did not do glad that they were found not guilty, especially for being young men of color, and I do should sue. They should, things should be made right for them financially, because they could have went far, especially going to school for what they were going to school for.
That's a fact.
And I wonder if they'll be able to, is there a chance to even continue that? I think that should play a factor too, in what reparations they get for it, because if they whole NFL opportunity is gone, and from what I'm reading online, they were standouts. They were very good players.
So what y'all think should happen to the accuser?
Well, unfortunately, it seems like the accusers never get charged. But I think something should start happening to accusers who are making false accusations on people, especially criminal accusations like that.
I agree.
She should definitely be charged with something. And
That's a fact.
I hope that these young men also sue her civilly.
They do anybody like travel to like Ohio or like spend time in Ohio?
Several times, but not like that. I just go for Kings Island.
I just left Ohio. Left Ohio last night. What's the vibe like? Is it like? I mean, shit. Is it racism? Like, is it really like that? Like this shit just happened in 2020 or something. I mean, I guess it's
definitely a big town.
Okay. Well, not in Columbus. Columbus is pretty diverse, but I mean, but we talking like college, so kids come from everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Probably all over Ohio, just Ohio State. You know what I'm saying? So it's like yeah, it's the vibe of Ohio as a whole. You know what I'm saying? So in that where I was last night, I walked 4 blocks to the grocery store. It's funny that we brought this up, but though I had eyes on me the entire time. There was not one black person in the whole town aside from another driver. And then when I walked back from the store, there was one lady in the entire town, 4 blocks, that said something. And I told her, I was like, damn, in the whole city, you're the only one that spoke to me. And she was like, well, I speak to everybody, but I'm not like that. And I don't know what that meant, but I just kept going where I went. But yeah, that and it's called, that town was Minister, Ohio. So y'all probably could Google it, look it up, and see if there's any like racism and shit. But they really had eyes on me yesterday. So I don't know.
And that shit's poor as hell over there.
Hey, is the girl white that accused them?
They don't specify.
Do they say her name?
I haven't been able to find it yet. A lot of because as far as the hearing, it was recorded, but she didn't want to be recorded, so shouldn't have been any cameras in it. And I'm still looking up all the like news articles. So far, I haven't been able to find them mention her color or even her name.
And that's what I was wondering also, is if she was white or what her race was.
I got a question. So in normal cases, victims does, especially in cases like rape and stuff, they have the right to not be placed, like their identities for reasons, you know. But what if it turns out in the court of law now that they're not a victim? Should they still get their information withheld? Because these guys' names are all up and through the news, even before the acquittal. Their names everywhere.
Right, and especially if she wasn't really a freaking victim as she was claiming.
She should be treated like a criminal, like she is.
Absolutely.
Criminal.
Because she was making false accusations. Not only did she waste the court's time, I mean, I hate people. She should absolutely be charged. But that goes across the board for just any and everybody that do these things.
I got a question. One of the ladies said the situation was she got a train ran on her, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Basically, yes.
So if that was the case, you would have to be willing to have a train run on you. So I'm just.
According to her statement, she stated that she originally was having sex with one of the football players, and then he held her down and forced her to give oral sex to the other football player. But the football players say basically she consented to doing both of them. They both stayed in the same house. So that was the storyline.
Yeah, because it's a serious situation, but just being forced to suck dick just always sounds crazy. But, okay. Man, I don't know. Speak for myself, like being like a college athlete and shit, especially like in the little ass town, like in a state like Missouri. Yeah. I don't know, like we don't know the race of the woman, but I'm gonna say it was like that in school, because like I don't think they had ever seen like black dudes, you know what I'm saying, like really just like that. So you had dudes from Texas, Florida, Alabama, like, you know, it was like that. Say that.
I wouldn't say Ohio State though is like a small town, because it's really not. But I feel like a lot of athletes are targeted in these allegations all over. But I feel like there are also a lot of athletes in a lot of these colleges that do dirty things. So it's a tough situation. It's of course case by case, but I don't know. This one just seems really like these young men were innocent.
What was the reason why they would do that, though? As I read the article, and it said something about regretting it, and that's why they accused them. But is there like more of a backstory in between them?
I was just reading something that said video evidence, so I'm almost wondering if it got posted online or something.
That's what I was gonna say, man. Like, man, when y'all do these things, bro, keep that shit private within your own shit, man. Because when you embarrass these women, you post shit and all that, say your homeboys what you did, and that shit spread. Like, you never know how they gonna react to that shit and how they gonna deal with that shit. So if you do end up in that situation, like, keep that shit to your motherfucking self, man.
Wow, and that's the fact that, like, women, if you out here doing these type of things, like, please, you ain't really, you know what I'm saying, once you commit yourself to these things, y'all butt ass naked and you're going down, it's too late to kind of, like, be embarrassed about shit. Like, we grown, you know what I'm saying? That's what it was, that's what it was.
Hell yeah.
But I agree with EA was saying. Basically, I feel like a lot of people, it didn't got out. A lot of people saw it, and they started talking about it and trying to clown on that girl.
I mean, nigga ain't even had to see it. It could have just been a conversation.
Yeah, niggas running their mouth. That's all it takes. Yeah, you can't embarrass these women, bro. Like, I mean, they gonna have a reaction. I ain't saying her reaction is valid, none of that shit, but you gonna get
them
a
niggas
reaction.
they probably wouldn't even know embarrassing shit. It was probably some locker room shit. One of them whole ass niggas tried the back door and you know what I'm saying? Well, damn, you let them niggas, you know what I'm saying? Woo, you know what I mean?
I'm gonna read a snippet, this little news article. I'm not gonna read the whole thing because it's pretty lengthy. But it says, as the rape trial for 2 former Ohio State football players goes on, a cell phone video is now at the center of a dispute. The trial is currently ongoing in Franklin County Police Court. The trial involves former Buckeyes players Amir Reep and Jacine Went, who allegedly raped a woman in February 2020. In the cell phone video, the woman is heard talking about her consent, and prosecutors are debating whether she was coerced into saying it.
On another article too, where they broke down Witt's testimony from the trial. Let me see. This is what it says. And this is supposed to be what he said during the trial. Rip testified he started communicating with the woman through Snapchat in December 2019. The woman testified Tuesday she invited Rip to her dorm, but he suggested they go to Witt's apartment as Rip was staying there. In his testimony, Rip said Witt was playing Call of Duty in the living room when he and the woman arrived, so he brought her to his bedroom. She asked him on what side of the bed should she lay down. Rip said when they were laying down, the woman started rubbing his stomach and began performing oral sex before she eventually got on top of him and they began having sex. In his testimony, Witt said he was playing Call of Duty online with teammates and he went to get Rip for the next game. He walked in and saw Rip and the woman having sex, and the woman agreed when Rip asked if Witt could join. Rip said that the woman positioned herself in the middle of the bed and had sex with both men at the same time. Witt's attorney said during Witt's testimony, the woman disengaged from sexual relations upon realizing she did not know Witt's name. And Witt responded he felt creeped out she would have oral sex with him without knowing who he was. On his way out the room, Witt said he told the woman, "Sorry if I made you feel uncomfortable." Witt eventually left the room and Rip asked the woman if she was okay. She told him to keep going. He testified. Rip said he asked her again 1 to 2 minutes later if she wanted to continue, and she said no. Rip said they stopped having intercourse at that time, and he noticed she was upset and wanted her to calm down. At this point, Rip testified he turned on his phone video and asked the woman to answer into the camera if the sex had been consensual. In the video, which was played in court Tuesday, the woman can be heard saying yes while sobbing. Rip said he deleted the first video he recorded, but he filmed the second one, which was a minute into evidence. The reason Rip deleted the first video is unclear.
That sounds like the truth to me, to be honest with you.
Hell yeah.
I mean, to be honest, there's more than how it goes. Like you can see, like, you know what I mean? And most times, like shit, they be with it. Just being honest.
That's a fact, Don. I don't know. That story sounds fishy as hell. I mean, the story.
But that's a story that got them acquitted, because that's what the jury heard.
When people tell a story, though, they always like make themselves seem that much innocent. You know, like, oh, he left the room and he said to her, "I'm sorry if," like, that's bullshit. These niggas are lucky. I'll tell you that much. Yeah, yeah.
I ain't denying that though.
If she was with it, shit. If she did certain shit or said certain shit that made them niggas feel like she was down for that shit, you're not gonna double back when the shit over, trying to console her, trying to see what's wrong with her. If it looked like or seemed like she feel a certain way about it.
I ain't gonna lie.
Definitely felt like she was uncomfortable because he kept asking and shit like that. You feel me? Then she said no. So,
to be honest, listening now to like the testimony, in my opinion, for one, I thought the video was recorded before they started, not after. But also, I know I've been over dude's house before, and you know, but if I go over to a house, I've never had one of the roommates or somebody come into the room when they just saw me and the guy go in the room. I've never had that happen. So that's a little out of pocket to me. Like, you already saw he went in the room with a girl. What made you come in there to ask did he want to play a video game? I feel like maybe they do that.
Though. Yeah, that's just the game. That happens, nigga. I ain't gonna lie, that happens. Like, you feel me? Nigga might be in the kitchen doing some other shit. Homeboy back there doing some shit. You know, you come, oh shit, my bad. You feel me? And you might get the signal like, and the shouter with it, she with it. Like,
I mean, and then too, it's like shit. You know, when you conversating and shit, you know, nigga probably ask her, you know, type of shit that she into, what she done done before.
Exactly. You catch a vibe.
Yeah.
It sounds like she got caught in a moment.
Yeah, they may have already had that place set up.
Definitely.
Prior to her coming.
I mean, it's
not as a rape, but hey, let's get her type thing.
Yeah, and there's certain shit too. Like, y'all are women, y'all know, like, if y'all dealing with y'all nigga exclusively, y'all gonna have on certain things. Y'all not gonna have on certain things around his nigga. Y'all ain't gonna have his ass out around, you know, your nigga homeboy. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like, you come to the crib, you got on the boy shorts, tank top, you in the kitchen cleaning and doing all that shit, and me and my nigga is here, we seeing you do that shit. Like, yeah, it's gonna be different vibes, different signs. Like, you know what I mean? It ain't so exclusive. It's like, shout over here kicking it.
Yeah, because it seemed like she's a freshman. You got this star football player fucking around with you for whatever reason. And I feel like just in the moment, she's like, all right, fuck it, let's do it. And then I guess in the middle of oral sex, she realized, oh man, this ain't what I'm on. Because it does sound like they caught the vibes that she was feeling off about it. Now, that still don't give her a right to cry wolf about it. Probably should have just chucked it up and kept it moving, but that's a bad situation.
Now, I wonder where these kidnapping allegations, how does that even go into play?
She said that they forced her, like they wouldn't let her leave. So, you know, anytime you are accused of not letting somebody leave, that's kidnapping. You kept them somewhere they wasn't supposed to be.
Gotcha.
It sounds to me like homeboy snuck his boy in and let him get a little bit.
Yeah, that's usually how it goes. I mean, but that ain't, but like that, bro, that ain't really how it goes, though, bro. I mean, I ain't never know, like, bro, this, we talking college, bro. It's college, bro. Like,
was she was
like that, bro.
Didn't that one video, the audio say that she was going with the one that she was going to hang out with, and he suggested they go to his friend's house? Isn't that what that said?
Yeah, they was really roommates.
Yeah, they was roommates.
Okay. It doesn't sound like she was in a relationship with the guy at all. It was
she was, you know, yeah, star football player. You know, freshman. She's a freshman. You got this star football player paying you attention. I mean, I get it, but you know,
I think it's a little bit of both.
It might have been more about the attention that she was paying him. Like, he the star. She really choosing up this college stuff. She just stay to the clips on.
I was just finna say that, Don. It's college. It's just college.
I mean, was she drunk or something? Because that shit just sound crazy. Like, how in the middle, you think you having sex with one nigga, then in the middle of oral sex, you just like, oh, shit, this the other nigga.
Nah, she was, how they was wording it was that basically she realized she didn't even know who the other dude was in the midst of sucking his thing. And that's when I feel like reality, like, caught up with her, like, oh, shit, I'm really doing this. I don't even know who, you know, so she probably started playing in her mind.
Was she passed out or something?
No, reality that she was in that moment. Yeah.
Like, she was okay with it, but then, like, it probably was just the wrong nigga. Maybe that nigga did something to make her feel like, nah, he could have grabbed his phone. We don't know. Like, he could have did something to make her feel like, nah. But it was still consensual. She just backed out of it. But the good thing is, bruh said when she backed out, he backed out. They both backed out. So, I mean, they didn't, it's not like they kept going and no shit. Only thing after that, they were just trying to like make sure they was good. Like, cause she started having a reaction. She crying and shit. Like, now the nigga scared. Like, wait, hold on.
Yeah, yeah.
Shit, like,
yeah, the
what's
fact that
going
they
on,
stopped was
bro?
a good thing.
Yeah, the fact that stopped was a good thing. Yeah, and then was smart enough to report it. So that means like, man, this was consensual. You tripping? They probably, you know what I mean, wouldn't even have thought that far. So like, yeah, it was just a fucked up situation. But I don't think Shawty should have dealt with it the way she did. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. The video going. The internet is everything. Their reputation is everything. So I can't even imagine how that feels for them to go viral in that type of way, because they grew up on this shit. So I know that shit gonna make them do all kinds of other shit. They gonna react different.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that, and then just in case if they good or not, and they trying to get drafted, trying to go NFL, ain't no people want to deal with all that.
Hell no.
I wonder how the conversation even came up with her dad about, like, I don't even know how at that age I would be going to my dad to be like.
One of her homegirl probably told on her. Somebody found out. That's probably why she came out with it.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then look, let's keep it real, man. Some niggas goddamn know, like, when you that age, if it ain't my girlfriend, I don't care. Try. She might like you. You know how many women have had sex with a homeboy, you feel me, after another homeboy, maybe not at the same time, but like you did one homeboy, then you did a friend. Some women have done the house. So when it's in that type of element, like, yes, niggas is trying shit. Niggas is trying each other. Like, that's just the vibe. At freshman college, that's just the vibe.
I think it's different now than when we was in school though, because like now I can't even speak on now, but see, back then when we was in school, it's a lot different.
What you mean? What we was doing back then that you don't think that
when I went to school, nigga, what? I'm just saying, as far as like people, not just thinking about themselves, bro.
Because y'all remember some years ago, the Duke University lacrosse team went through a similar situation like this.
Yeah, niggas be going through this shit all the time. You feel what I'm saying? Like, even when for basketball, we used to go to UGA. You feel what I'm saying? They used to tell us, hey, be careful with the white girls. Woo, fuck one of them. They don't go right. They can turn. They say anything you done. You cook. Like, that's it. You feel what I'm saying? So, like, and the young athletes got to know that shit too. Somebody got to tell these niggas that's prospects, hey, you got to move a certain way. Women gonna try to trap you. Women gonna lie on you. It's gonna be, you gonna go through a different experience. So you gotta motherfucking be on your shit. You feel what I'm saying? You gotta record them all. You know what I mean? Like, you just gotta move different. Shit, it'd be better if you just stay focused. You feel what I'm saying? But of course, young niggas gonna be young niggas. So, it's like, you gotta prepare them niggas for that shit, cause it's gonna happen. And Kappas, Qs, it don't matter. Like, if you got some type of pull, some type of rank, you gonna run into this. You feel what I'm saying, on that campus. So you just gotta know how to deal with that shit. This shit been going on. Like, hell yeah. You know what I mean?
That shit crazy. They gotta find some solution, or it gotta be some type of meeting. Because, like, if you're an athlete and you don't do what a girl like, or she get mad at you, she can just say whatever, and that shit just be crazy.
Yeah. That shit shouldn't even go public until it is like something concrete. Like, put them niggas' names out there, and then you protect the nigga that's lying on you. You know what I mean? That shit fucked up. That school should have to pay big time for not protecting.